Okay, as you can see, I've added new faceplates for the playable characters, both in the tutorial and in the adventure mode. So, NPC test signpost. There's pretty much nothing in here except the goal. Twilight walks up to this, press enter. This is a signpost. It says one thing. This is a signpost. It says only one thing. So that's the basics of the dialogue system. But there are some more advanced things. As you can see, I had to add playable characters to here. They don't just use the default ones anymore, and that's actually because of the dialogue system. Anyways, for some more advanced stuff, I'll create another one. As you could see from the load, there's actually some graphics here for Carrot Top. Now to show you this compass rose. This was actually intended to be used in a larger context with custom NPCs that have up to 17 different animations. The 4 cardinal directions, the 4 diagonals, and then 8 directions that are between the cardinals and the diagonals, and then also a neutral animation in the center. Essentially, you click one of these, it says number of west animations here, click this one, number of east animation frames. Originally, this drop-down list was intended to allow the user to select multiple different animations, but it made a little bit more sense to use these radio buttons on the General tab instead. Anyways, this one shows only one animation here, the rest of these show 2. Either the custom NPC by default faces left and then faces the player when it's speaking to the player, or it faces right until it speaks with the player, or you can say this NPC always faces the player character. I'll set it to always faces the player character for now. Choose the west animations. I'll set it to have 15 frames. The first frame, since we're looking to the west, we'll use this. This actually shows Carrot Top with another saddle umbrella on her back, kind of like Rarity's, only less fancy. And she's got a trowel in her mouth and she's digging in the ground. The idea in the lore is that she's trying to dig drainage trenches so that her poor carrots don't drown in the flood. And there's quite a bit of flooding, so this is a real problem. Let's see. You dig 2. You dig 3. You dig 4. You dig 5. You dig 6. Preview it. It shows her every now and again digging. It's my experience that this preview panel shows the animation a lot slower than the actual game. Anyways, I need to do the same thing for what she looks like when she's facing to the left. You dig right. Oops. Actually, I should use that for all images. Copy. Let's see here. That would be 2. This is one of the few places where Control-C and Control-V actually do something. In the rest of the game, I rely on the duplicate button. Preview this, and it still shows her digging. Alright. Now, there's actually a lot of different things that you can do with the dialogue. I think I better start by putting the faceplate here. I'll call her Carrot Top. She's also called Golden Harvest, but I'll go with Carrot Top for now. You can change the color that her name appears in. You can set it to bold. You can increase the size. Set it to 22. It's 18 by default. Now, first things first. You may have noticed while I was showing the signpost here that it just shows the text. It does not show a signpost here with signpost colon and then this is a signpost. It says only one thing. It just shows this. Now, if you want it to actually show the name of the custom NPC, then what you can do is this. Set it to the current NPC here. First you click select speaker, then it brings up this dialog, and you can pick which speaker is doing the speaking. The current NPC is for whoever this is. Let's see, hi, I'm Carrot Top. I'm also called Golden Harvest. Preview the dialog. I'm also called Golden Harvest. Now, let's say that we want the player character to respond. This gives you a drop-down list showing all the custom playable characters. Let's see. Let's go with Applejack. Hey, hi Carrot Top, I'm Applejack, glad to meet you. Let's just preview this. Hi Carrot Top, I'm Applejack, glad to meet you. Now let's say that we want to add a new line and have Applejack say, would you like to trade some of your carrots for my apples? Now, here it shows a new line between glad to meet you and would you like to trade. But if you preview this, it just tacks would you like to trade right onto the end here. If you want there to be a new line, you're going to have to add a new line in here. Clicking new line puts a \n. You can also type in \n yourself if you want. But now if you preview the dialog, you can also push any button and it'll immediately jump to the end of the dialog. And as you can see, would you like to trade some of your carrots is now on a new line. Let's say that you also want a wait in between glad to meet you and would you like to trade some of your carrots. If you click the wait button, then it puts in a /w, the \w. And a \w tells the dialog system, wait for the user to put in more input. When he does, then you can continue the dialog. That's not the only thing you can do too. You can also put in a clear. Like let's say we want I'm Applejack, glad to meet you to go away before would you like to trade some of your carrots for my apples appears. You can put, I'll just get rid of the /n and the /w and put in a clear /c. I'm Applejack, glad to meet you. When you have a clear in there, it automatically waits until there's user input. When there is, it clears it out and it stays the same character speaking. Would you like to trade some of your carrots for my apples? Then you can switch to another speaker, so let's go to an unknown marker. This basically puts a question mark out there and says, I don't know who's speaking. Most ponies use money to buy carrots. And I'll show you what this looks like. Most ponies use money to buy carrots. So you can have it be a player character, you can have it be another NPC. For instance, let's try this, an NPC. Pretty much signpost is the only one out there, so you can select that one. I'm a signpost. I'm not supposed to talk. Take a look at what that looks like. Most ponies use money to buy carrots. I'm a signpost. I'm not supposed to talk. You know, that's getting annoying, but I'm really not quite sure how to get rid of it. And this is just the preview. It doesn't look like this in the game, so I'm not that worried about it for now. Anyways, I'm going to take out the unknown speaker and the signpost, and let's go back to having Carrot Top answer. And there's other things that you can do with the formatting. You can change the size of the text in here. You can change the color of the text. So I'm just going to have Carrot Top scream would I with a very large size text. I'll go with 40 on this one. Changes it to 40, and I'll make the color red. Let's see. Would I? And then I'll add a clear after this, and then say, I love apples. Sold. Let's see how this looks. Hi, I'm Carrot Top. I'm also called Golden Harvest. Hi, Carrot Top. I'm Applejack. Glad to meet you. Would you like to trade some of your carrots for my apples? Would I? I love apples. Sold. And you may notice that until and unless you change the size back or the color back, it stays the same. If you want it to go back, let's see, set the color to black, set the size to the default of 18. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. And I didn't put a new line or a clear or anything here, so it's not going to look ugly, but that's what the preview is supposed to show you. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. So if I put a clear here, would I? I love apples. Sold. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. Now let's say that we want to add a little bit more here and make this bold. In fact, I'll make I love apples bold but leave would I unbolded. You put a bold start here, and then a bold end at the place where you want the boldface to stop. And now let's see what it looks like. Would I? I love apples. Sold. And as you can see, I love apples is bold and sold is not. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. So, that's essentially how the formatting works for the dialog speaker. Now, let me add a clear here. There is one last thing. If for some reason you want just a plain backslash to be in this, you can actually add that. It's a double slash. It formats left to right, so when it sees /h, which is supposed to be short for hue, it goes until the next backslash it sees, and then it sees \s for size and calls that a size change, and goes until the next backslash for that. So, anyways, you can put those backslashes in here. You'll see that there are 8 slashes here. After I didn't mean to shout, you can expect 4 slashes. The double slash is essentially an escape character. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. And there's 4 slashes there. I'm not sure why you'd want these other than for emoticons, but it can be done. You can also set the speaker to be no speaker. Let's see, they make the trade. So you remember how there was no speaker with the signpost. If you want that to happen, then you can put no speaker in there with this X speaker slash there. And whenever the speaker changes, it automatically does a wait and then clear. So let's try this. A player character. Let's have Rainbow Dash chime in. Have her say they make great cider. Let's preview that. They make the trade. You'll be glad you got those apples. They make great cider.